Now we will talk about infant self. Infant self is the one which is around 0 to 2 years,
Okay.
and his primary need is like he doesn't have any identity. He completely identifies with mother.
Yes.
So 9 months, what mother ate, if child had eaten,
Right.
and what mother felt, child had felt. So for 9 months, this had been there is completely union with mother. And there is nothing which separating him with mother. There is complete union. So even he is coming out of the world, of the womb, he is still not completely independent. He doesn't know. He's little bit scared because so far he is in the mother's womb, and now he is seeing all this light. He is seeing all the people. He is very scared. He is trying to integrate. He is trying to slowly cope up with the things. And this is the time where we need to be felt completely safe. Mother need to be with the child 24 hours. So let's say if mother is going to work or office, or at least emotionally not present, physically being present. Most of the times, even parents who are not working, mother who is not working, even they are physically present but emotionally absent. Yeah, even that is a huge pain for this child, and this child really misses, he thinks that he's not cared for, he's not loved, he's not wanted by his mother. Really, he's feeling the pain. He don't want to separate. He always wanted to go and be with the mother. He wanted always to be in the mother's touch, right? And he wanted, once he comes out of the womb, ideally what they say is, they should not cut the placenta. They should not separate the placenta immediately. So it takes 24 to 72 hours, so that automatically it gets separated.
Is it?
Yeah, that's what I heard. I am not an expert in that, but what happens is it creates a trauma, because so far all the nurturing is happening through this placenta, through this umbilical cord,
And safety net also.
and he feels completely safe. And immediately, as soon as the umbilical cord is cut, he is completely unsafe. Like there is a complete, he's not fully adopted. It's the first time he's taking breath through nose. First time he's taking food through his mouth, right? And also immediately after being born, immediately he need to have mother's milk. Immediately. He should not be put separately. Should always be in mother's touch.
Yeah, nowadays the doctors are practicing that. Now, as soon as the baby is out, immediately they place the baby in the mother's chest and give her some time.
Yeah, it's very important.
Yeah, they do that.
It's very important.
But about this cutting of the umbilical cord, apparently if they don't cut it in good time, it can also poison. I heard something. I'm not sure. That it could,
They say 24 hours is important. 24 hours at least is important. Because whatever I heard, I was watching a video during my last workshop. It's called Rebirthing, Breath Mastery, Rebirthing workshop, 5 days workshop, where we encountered a lot of memories of mother's womb and how it feels to be reborn, all those things. So womb experience, birth experience. So what we were told is it's important because he has a connection to this to the nurturing space, right? From where he's getting all this nurturing, from where he's getting all these needs fulfilled is through umbilical cord. It is like a cord, and we also have a cord which is connecting to the universal placenta.
Yeah.
अच्छा,
Yeah.
the silver.
Silver cord.
Silver cord is for astral body,
अच्छा.
Okay, okay.
but similarly for us, like there is a connection
Uh-huh.
where we are all living in this cosmic womb, right?
Yeah.
And we are also getting nurturing from the universe through cosmic energy. Cosmic energy is nurturing us.
Yeah.
And what happens is this particular thing gives some kind of disconnection and feels unsafe. And this feeling of not being safe continues throughout our lifetime. Like whatever be the situation, there is something which is deep inside where we feel unsafe. There is something like, we feel insecure, we feel unprotected, we feel not nurtured. Always there is some feeling like, that always we are looking for some womb-like things. We want to get into mother's womb again. There is this internal pull to get into the closed spaces, so that to feel protected. Right? We even when we are sleeping, we want to feel
Yeah.
protected like this.
Yeah.
Get into that mother's womb, and
Wow.
and even when we are afraid, also we get into this space.
Yes.
Right? We feel we want to go there. So we feel utmost safety inside mother's womb. Outside mother's womb, we are not feeling that much safe.
Protection.
We are not we don't feel protected,
Yes.
because the protection in mother's womb was at a different level, and the whole process of birthing has given us a lot of birth trauma, during deliveries, and
Yeah.
whatever happened after that in the 0 to 2 years. So what kind of experiences we encountered, creates a deep wounds on this factor of safety, like on the factors of like primary needs of acceptance, safety, and nurturance. Like let's say if we are not getting the breastfed milk, mother's milk, we don't feel nurtured, and once that trauma had happened, whatever this creates in eating disorders. Like we get into we don't eat good food, or we get eating like lot of things, and we don't satisfy. Always we are looking for that mother's milk. Always we are looking for that state where we want to be nurtured completely. We want to be satisfied, and sometimes we feel how much ever we eat, we don't feel satisfaction. Whatever be the best restaurant we eat, so our heart is not fully fulfilled, right? So how many people can relate to this?
Yes.
So this is very important for us to understand and also heal this part of ourselves. Otherwise, there is a lot of issues with safety. Even like the best safe environment, whatever your families can provide, or whatever you can provide for yourself, you don't feel safe, because internally that something had happened at that stage where you are always being afraid that you will be abandoned, that being afraid that you will be separated. So being afraid that you will be not be nurtured well. So these kind of issues we might have, and this will create something called trust versus distrust. And this is where the real trust issues start. So when you lose trust on your mother, you literally can't trust anyone, because from mother we have come, and when you are not cared for, or when you are not this when this happens, when you are not nurtured, or when you don't get something, so self-centered, he don't know anything about the external situations, the child. He really don't. There can be n number of reasons for a mother not being there physically and emotionally present with the child. But when this happens, the child is really he lost trust. A mother is the only person who the child is looking for. And this happens for and let's say if someone is adopted, or we see some situations where the child has taken the birth, mother had died, and the child has taken birth where out of marriage, or something like these kinds of situations. The child is very traumatic. He completely loses trust, and when he loses trust, and when he has mistrust, it goes into different kinds of perversions. It gets like he will take revenge on the world. He want to see why you don't give me what I want. So he want to create unsafety for others. He wanted to create that. He wanted to show how he feels. So the basic aspect of the victim is he need to make other feel his pain. He wanted to make that. He wanted to show that his pain. There is pain inside. So that's why what he wanted to do is he wanted to create that environment where others will also undergo that pain. So victim will eventually become a perpetrator. He wanted to make people experience that. He wanted to make people understand my pain, understand me. You see what I am undergoing. Never cared for me, this world. Did not look at me when I was needing mother's milk. You did not look at me when I need to be nurtured. You did not give me that food, or you did not give me this thing. Now I will make you feel how it feels. This is the internal emotional thing which is happening. It's very important for us to nurture this self, this child within us. If at all something happened, whenever he felt unsafe, he need to be protected. He need to feel safe, right? And we need to really make him trust. We need to make him understand to trust his mother. It's very difficult to be a parent. It's not so easy job. Extremely difficult. And unless until a child becomes a parent, he will not know what it means to be a parent. And the whole journey is not so easy. So a child easily cannot forgive his parents. But it's important for child to really trust, that building is needed. So mother has done a huge sacrifice in giving him the womb, giving him the space. It's a very we need to really respect the mothers. But first of all, for now we will first understand that what is child feeling. We'll acknowledge the child's feelings. We'll first acknowledge, as we said, right? First thing is identification. If you are not identified, victim always feels that why don't you listen to me? Why don't you acknowledge my feelings? So there is a victim inside this child. This wanted to share, this wanted to talk, this wanted to express its pain. It needs sympathy. It needs that care, right? So it's important for us to care for this child and nurture him, so that he don't take on the world, or he don't take on his family. Like people with pain, sometimes people what they do is they create a nice image outside, but internally they suffer. So people who are closer to them, they also suffer. Because you want to make understand. There is a deep need, right? That you need to understand me. Now, making sense? That we need to make people understand. And for that reason we are going for any extent. And that whole dynamics will come in spouse relationships. The spouse relationship, it comes out a lot.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And
Absolutely.
we do lot of emotional and physical intrusions, boundary intrusions. We really manipulate.
So the perpetuator who's actually the victim, who's become the perpetuator, is victimizing the other person in the scene. Let's take the spouse. Okay. So he's making his spouse also the victim.
Yeah.
So how now the spouse needs to fight his own victimization and also needs to empathize with the victim who's actually making this one the victim, you know, like it's a vicious circle,
Yeah.
right? It's a vicious circle.
That continues again. You make the child also a victim. You say
Yeah.
like you. Most of the times this happens. Like mothers will tell
Take it out on the children.
children, take it out on the children,
Children
and
first.
also use children as sounding boards.
Right.
2-year-old kid, what does he know? She will share. She will tell all the stories about grandmother.
Yes.
मेरा
Yes,
सास
that
मेरे
one.
साथ थी, मेरा तुम्हारा पिता कुछ भी मेरा ख्याल नहीं करता है, ये नहीं करता है, वो नहीं करता है.
Yeah.
She will tell all the stories to the child. And she want to like treat the child like her own teddy bear.
So Shravan, in a situation, I can totally relate to the situation because my life is exactly this. You know, how do you help that person who's really reached that level of aggression and that level of anger and victimizing? Totally like. Let me be very direct. Like my husband, he's very popular at his place of work with his subordinates, with his counterparts, with his friends. He's very popular. But he's a 360-degree turn at home. Okay. And he has really gone to stooped down to great levels to victimize and take out all his frustration and anger. And I got lost in the whole thing, and I went into a space of self-pity and struggling a lot with my own self-worth, which was at a certain level at my parents' place and came crashing down after I got married. How do you help this person see?
First, help yourself.
First, you have to help yourself. So so I'm figuring that you say no, I will not take this anymore. Yeah.
So you take the person completely out of the picture,
You take the person completely
out of the picture, and look at yourself first.
Huh.
Because a victim always attracts perpetrator. That's the lesson victim has to learn.
Okay.
Victim always attracts perpetrator. Even if we kill all the perpetrators in the world, again new perpetrators will be born. So that's how a victim's characteristic is. Like he wanted the perpetrator to again, I feel exploited. Okay, I feel exploited. Someone come and exploit me.
Achha.
I feel self-pity. Someone go and increase my self-pity.
Okay. Oh.
We ask that universe, we ask that, send me someone who can really, this is like, how life works, like, it keeps on intensifying things, keeps on intensifying. Whatever experience it is, it keeps on intensifying. Let's say in your past life, you had undergone little bit of victimization. In this life, you will undergo more victimization.
Where is the end to this?
You have to get enlightened.
Only then there is an end.
Yes.
Of course.
You have to really come out of this cycle. You have to break
Actually,
this pattern.
This makes a lot of sense because I used to get proposals from such good guys. There were 1 or 2 people that I also went out with for 1 or 2 dates, and you know, they were like completely in love with me and you know, total. But I didn't want that. So I
Yes.
rejected that and I chose a person.
Yes.
So I actually attracted the perpetuator in my
Yes.
life.
Yes.
Right.
This happens. Even I was having a good manager, nice goody manager.
Hmm.
Then I choose that strong manager, that manager who was arrogant, so that I need to resolve that. And I used to have one, like, you know, there used to be one girl who is in Nagpur. Like, you know, she somehow made connection with me through Facebook. And she calls me every now and then. She calls me, and I ask her, why do you call me? And she has many people who try to impress her. Like, there are many people who is trying to what do you call, gain her attention, all those things. And I never give her attention.
But she's running after.
Because and whenever she calls me also, I scold her. I scold her. Like, I don't know what happens, but I scold her. Like, I get really angry with her. But she again and again wanted that. And I ask her simply, if someone is loving you, why don't you accept their love? She says, no, I don't want to. I do this to you. Why do you come back after me again and again?
Yes.
And this is the pattern victim undergoes. And again she comes in, let's say if I go sympathize with her, again she will make me a victim. She wanted to blame me again. So I don't want that repetition. That I can see through, right?
Right,
After
right.
all these things,
Yeah.
I can see through a pattern, like, you know, where this goes, what kind of personality he or she has, what kind of wounds he or she has.
Yeah.
I can see through it, then I know what is the future. Huh? So until he or she can heal that, I cannot accept her also, because I am afraid again. I don't want to get into that game. Because victims is like, you know, they always blame, right? They always try to find, they try to give power to others first.
Yes.
They give their love, affection, power, everything, because they don't believe in themselves first. And they give everything to others, and then they try to blame that person at the end of the day.
I'm a classic victim.
Yeah,
Really.
that's the reason. That's why we have to undergo this transformation, really, and then only we can really liberate ourselves from being continuing this state. This is one great thing actually. What you have done. Many people go to courts or go public, have placards,
Yeah.
or I want to damage that person. I want to bring him down. I want to do this to him, do this to her. I want to really, you know, they want to take revenge.
Yes.
And that is again a huge cycle.
It is
Yeah,
a very stressful cycle.
yeah,
It doesn't help one bit.
yeah.
It doesn't help. It
That's
doesn't resolve anything.
yeah. Because all this is coming from our roots. Our roots are here. Our roots are in the inner child.
So suppose I want to help my husband. Okay, in this.
First you help yourself.
First I have to help myself.
You heal your inner child first. You resolve all the issues which you have with your parents, with your past, your school self,
Yeah.
and automatically your energy changes.
Okay.
And we'll understand something in the next session in the family constellations
Okay.
about what is this influence and how we can influence. We can resolve that, but it takes time. But first thing is, even your healing takes time. It's important to keep yourself in that zone, in that vibration. So we fall down in the vibration. When we fall down in the vibration, in the energy, we attract. And it's important for us to rise up instead of getting into these cycles. So we'll rise up the vibration. Automatically we don't attract those people, and also those people who are our family members also changes. It takes time, but the change happens.
It happens.
Yeah, we'll understand that slowly.
Okay.
but we'll first focus on this. So it's very important to understand whatever happens in the first 2 years will define most of our relationships, most of how we are going to experience the world. The first time when you are coming out the world scared, you feel scared every time. And ego strength is hope. Even there is something which is not going in the right direction, there is, like in this particular stage, there is something called you build up hope.